live on stage. The sound
of Orlando.
So, if they ready,
Yes.
the sound
Of Orlando.
You know?
Yo, what's going on? It's popping, man. Happy New Year to the entire city, man. Happy New Year to Orlando. We are going to get to it. You already know. I know we're running a little bit late tonight, but that is all good because we are representing hip-hop culture to the fullest, okay? This is the Sound of Orlando show with none other than your boy Rome, live and direct. For those tuning in right now, you are survivors of 2020. If you can make it out of that year, you can do anything. This next new year should be about motivation, excelling, and taking what you're doing to an entirely next level. Please believe me. Now, I want to send shouts out to our brand new sponsor on the show, Toms and Sons. They are distributors of the finest fashion out of New York City. They are one of the main people dealing with Calvin Klein and a lot of your favorite fashion designers. They are sponsoring the show. So shouts out to them, Toms and Sons, our new sponsor of the show. Shouts out to 5-Star Graphics, my man Jesse Jazz. Shout out to you, another sponsor of the show. And we're going to continue to get sponsors for the show. So if you're interested in sponsoring during the show, please believe me, this will be the show to sponsor. Now, all my people that are tuning in right now, shout out to you. Tonight is about you. It's a Monday night. We are doing hip-hop live and direct from the city of the Ozone, okay? This next guest I got on to set off the entire year, Capricorn season. This man has done so much legendary stuff. You know, when we're talking about music, he represents Official Nas, Onyx. I mean, you know, it goes without saying, throw your guns, you know, Slam. This is the way we walk in New York. Like just every, you know, hard record you could possibly want as a hip hopper, man. This man has been a part of it. He's worked with the beloved Jam Master Jay. You know, he's, you know, acted in countless movies. I mean, this man has done it all. You know, TV series, you name it. And he's still at it. He's still going. Got this new single out, 5 a.m. with Chic Louch. And I am so excited to bring this man, one of the legendary multi-platinum artists, you know, of our generation, has done so much for hip hop and representing Queens, Brooklyn. My man, Fredro Starr, give it up. Let's go.
What's good, big homie? What's popping?
What's popping, man? So honored to have you on the show, man. I wasn't gonna stop tonight until we got you on. So you already know I'm waiting because we got to set this year off right. You're my first guest of the year to set this entire year off. You're speaking to the city right now, to Orlando, and you know, shout out to Cali Ranks because my man Cali has done a lot of work with you guys, and you know, so I know he is loving to see you tonight. And then have you figured out what brother you was talking about in the O as well?
Nah, I met the brother in Orlando from Queens, New York. He got a trying to think of his name, man. He down with the real OGs, man. I would say his name, but I want to make sure it's right. But we're not only representing for Orlando tonight because the whole world is tuning in right now. You know what I'm saying? So we representing for the whole world. Happy New Year's to everybody. You know what I'm saying? You survived 2020, 2021. Let's get this bag. Keep it low. Stay sucker free. And let's just make it happen, man. Let's go. It's go time.
for real, man. I mean, you just dropped some jewels, man, because for and I said that in the monologue, for anybody that's walked out of 2020 considering all the stuff that was against us, man. I mean, if you're not prepared to take your life to the next level come this year, man, I don't know what you was doing in 2020, because it was all about them jiu-jitsu moves and trying to just get out of the way and block stuff from systematically, if not murdering you physically, murdering you spiritually. There was a lot to be angry about.
Right. It's the new year, but actually, it's just the next day.
Right.
But we get a fresh start. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, 2021, let's get it. Let's make it happen. Let's get it popping.
Right. Before we start talking about the present, for anybody that this, bro, you get so much love out here, man. I remember, when you guys came out, it was just, every club, every spot that played any kind of hip hop, we had to play you. Like, there was just no way out of that.
Golden era. It was so, when we came out in 1993, with Jam Master Jay, the whole Onyx crew, man, hip hop still was growing. It was organic. It was still finding its way. Like, hip hop was like a big tree growing, and it's called the golden era because the golden era, we kept it golden,
Right. And the connections that everyone kind of had, they were interconnected with one another. To your point, Jam Master Jay, JMJ label, back in the days, as far as a DJ was concerned, I know when we looked at labels, that meant, if it was whack, it was whack, or that label meant like this was gold. And JMJ, anything Rush, associated labels, RAL, Def Jam, like just that we knew, we didn't even have to hear you. We knew that was quality. Talk about meeting up and getting together with Jam Master Jay in that beginning, and what that was like for those that either never met JMJ or, what that was like just dealing with him and working with him.
Well, everybody knows Jam Master Jay was the architect of hip hop, the godfather of hip hop. Run DMC was the biggest, still is the biggest group in hip hop ever. They broke barriers, man. Like, and watching Run DMC as a kid growing up, you looking at these guys. These guys were like Michael Jackson. These guys were like rock stars, like to the highest degree. The kings of rock, the kings of rap. So to actually get with somebody like Jay, meeting Jay, smoking weed with Jay, studio with Jay, learning from Jay, it was incredible just to be around that whole era, that whole vibe, the Def Jam vibe, Run DMC. Like, our first tour was with Run DMC.
That's crazy.
So we was like 4 kids from South Jamaica. Now we on tour with the biggest rap group in the world. So we had to learn quick. We had to learn fast. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And talk about that real quick.
Jay was big.
Talk about that real quick. What that was like leading up to that meeting and beginning that career. I know people can assume based on your music, but talk about what it was like growing up in New York City during that pre-golden age, if you will.
These kids right now that's growing up in the world we're living in right now, they didn't witness the crack era. Growing up, when we came up, 86, 87, 88, 89, all the 90s, crack cocaine that shit was ruining every ghetto in America, man. Like, it was fucked up, man. Like, it was so many crackheads out, and if you got crackheads, you got people that selling the drugs. So you got the drug dealers, you got the crackheads, and just growing up through that whole shit, man. People getting locked up, shot up, crackheads. It was crazy growing up in the hood and finding your way. You know what I'm saying? Like staying out of the bullshit because it was easy to sell drugs. It was easy to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? It was easy to get shot. And just growing up in that whole atmosphere of just fuck music, just living in the hood.
Right. And I want you to talk about that a little bit more because one thing about the show, we want to give our flowers to our legends, but we also want to put in perspective that you're humans.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not just some shiny object that we pull out when we want to floss, but that we actually recognize that there's a story behind how you were able to navigate through all of that despite every odd against you as a black man in this world. And then, like you said, the crack era, and then having to navigate.
Listen. Let me talk, man. You talk a lot. Listen. See, I was able to navigate through the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried to sell drugs. I did that. It just didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I wanted to answer to anybody like that. You know what I'm saying? So I found a way to make money and still be cool. Started cutting hair. And when I started cutting hair, I was 16 years old. 16, 16, all the way up until 20 years old. I started, I was cutting hair in a barbershop. And I was the illest barber in Queens, you know what I'm saying? I was doing designs. And how I was making my money coming up, I was cutting a lot of the hustlers in the neighborhood, a lot of the drug dealers. They making mad bread. I was cutting most of their hair. Like most of my customers was drug dealers. So
Right.
I was able to stay connected in the streets, and because I'm cutting all the drug dealers, all the killers, all the niggas, I'm cutting their hair. So they was loving, I had love in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that's my little barber type shit. So that's how I kind of came up in South Jamaica. And I also was rhyming in the parks, the Baisley Park. I was doing the rhyming coming up in the park with niggas like Cheeks from the Lost Boys, my man P.I. We was the young niggas rhyming in the park. You know what I'm saying? So before Onyx and all that, I was the little nigga rhyming in the park. You know what I'm saying? Rhyming in Baisley Park. And there was all the hustlers and all the ballers in the park. And that's how I got my name on the hip hop side. Yo, that's the little nigga right there, little Fredro, you know what I'm saying? So I was coming up cutting hair and rhyming. So that's how I was able to stay out the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Stay out the system. I didn't have to sell drugs. This is how I was making my money. So when I met Jam Master Jay, I think he was impressed with the way we was moving. You know what I'm saying? Because when we met Jay, we already had a record deal with Profile. And Run DMC was on Profile Records. We like before we met Jay, we already hustled a single deal. You know what I'm saying? Like we already got in the industry before meeting Jay. So when he met us, I think he respected that. Oh, yo, these niggas is making money. This nigga got his own little car. This nigga doing his thing. They already got a record deal. He didn't have to hold our hand like we wasn't no babies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they respected that, and that's what kept the relationship with Jay. Plus, he smoked a lot of weed. Shout to Princess Black 121. We would go to Princess Black, and he smoked a lot of weed with Jay. That was our connection.
Right. So you get with Jay and talk about that moment in which you knew, okay, to your point, you got that single going, and now you with Jay. Talk about some of the mindset that went behind that first single and the concept of what Onyx would be and what that meant to you. Like what was the mindset going behind that?
Well, like I said, we had Onyx had a single with Profile Records. The single was called "Ah," and we do it like this. Produced by my man B Wiz, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? B Wiz, he produced that record. He was the first kid in the hood with an SB12. Yo, man, like B Wiz got murdered before the whole Jam Master Jay shit set off. So, you know, when we met Jam Master Jay, it was like, yo, we got to take it to another level. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
the single we had with B Wiz was cool, but Red Alert, the DJ Red Alert, he didn't like the lyrics. He liked the beat, but he didn't like the lyrics. Like DJ Red Alert would actually play the song on the radio. We would like listen to Hot 97, listening. Oh shit, they playing our record, and then the lyrics never come on. So one day we saw DJ Red Alert because we was club niggas. Like we would go to the club a lot, Latin Quarters, Red Zone, you know, the building. We was club niggas. Like we was going to clubs, hip hop clubs. Like you know what I'm saying, every day. So we wasn't just some niggas in the studio. Nah, we was going to all the clubs in Manhattan. So we seen DJ Red Alert. He was like, yo, I like the beat, but I don't like the lyrics. And I think when he did that, he made me go way. But I was like, word, you don't like the lyrics? Fuck that. And I was just like, I just got on my shit. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to DJ Red Alert. So make a long story short, when we got with Jay, Jay said, yo, I want to put Sticky Fingers in the group. See, Sticky Fingers wasn't on the first single. So he heard Sticky Fingers on the record with me, and he said, yo, I want to put Sticky Fingers in Onyx. Now Onyx is 4 members. You know what I'm saying? So now Onyx is Fredro, Big DS, and now Sticky Fingers in the group. So
Right.
Sticky Fingers, so that's my little cousin. So now he in the group, he's bringing a whole nother element to the group. Like he's like the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now we reinforced with a new member. We got Jam Master Jay. So what we did with Profile is totally different from what we did with Jay. The voices changed, the attitude changed, you know, life changed. We was getting older, and what we was rhyming about, the shit we was seeing in Southside Jamaica. Like I said, we was growing up through the crack era, niggas getting shot, police getting shot, all types of shit was going on in South Jamaica. Like, and we was seeing this shit. So that's where to throw your guns, bitch ass niggas, shifty. That's where that shit came from. Southside Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Jamaica Avenue, South Road, Rockaway Boulevard. You know what I'm saying? Sufton Boulevard. Yo, this is what we was talking about. South Jamaica, Queens. And Jay was the big bro. He saw the vision and he put it together.
Well, when you're talking about that, throw your guns. At the time, there was kind of a shift in hip hop, and things were kind of getting, you know, you had the gangster stuff on the West Coast, but then it just kind of, it was like New York was still kind of just trying to find itself in that particular time, and then Throw Your Guns comes out, and it was like everything kind of just shut down and came to like this full circle. Well, how was it? How was that when it dropped in New York for you?
Throw Your Guns was. Let me just hold up. First, there was dudes like Leaders of the New School. Just another case of that OPP. Yo,
Right.
that right there, Leaders of the New School, that's what they was. They was Leaders of the New School. Because before them, you had Tropical Quest, Jungle Brothers, Daylight.
Right.
So they was like an extension to that, but they was bringing it to another level. Like they were younger than Tropical Quest. So they was the niggas coming, and they came before us. Then you had niggas like Daz Effects. Stickity bump.
Right.
Yo, that shit was crazy. We was like, yo, what the fuck? Niggas coming out the sewer. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? The whole Death Squad with the headbanger, Redman.
Right.
Came before us, and then niggas like Cypress Hills. So hip hop was like, oh shit, okay. Then Naughty by Nature.
Right.
You know, hip hop was getting, so all of that shit was seeing. We was like, okay, we took a little bit of everything. And we
Right.
made our own shit. You know what I'm saying? We made our own shit. Came with the Onyx, the Mad Face logo. You know what I'm saying? Came with the whole style. Came with the fucking lingo. Came with the whole back the fuck up shit. Like we came with our. We was in our own world. And
Right.
De La Soul was a big part of that. They
Really.
don't know because De La Soul, they was like doing the Daisy Age. Onyx was like a hardcore De La Soul because we had skits on the album. We was just in our own world, Like we made our own shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like yo,
Right.
we did a movie with Spike called Clockers. Classic movie. Shout.
Classic movie, man.
But see what Spike Lee did? He made his own world. Like the even to the beer we was drinking, the clothes, like it was just his own world. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we did. Like Onyx, we made our own world with the whole Onyx shit, the ball heads, the fucking mad face, back the fuck up, shifty. That whole shit was just our own little thing going on, our own lingo.
And it was amazing. It was amazing time for hip hop because it shifted from, to your point, that kind of have fun, go lucky, and it gave more of a vivid view of the streets.
Right, but the Back the Fuck Up album was, if you listen to it, it's humorous.
No,
Like,
no, no, it is. Yeah, right. But from a
it's funny, like you know, it's I wouldn't say funny, but I would say it's very the shit is funny, man. You listen to that album, that shit is ill. Like it's just, you know, because it skits like NW, like you mentioned NWA, like them niggas was even funny on their album. Like
oh yeah, all day, all day.
it was like hardcore, like you know, Big DS put me up on NWA. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But when you listen to it, it was hardcore, but it was like, bitch, suck my dick. Like it was like funny,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It had some, and Onyx was kind of like NWA meets De La Soul.
Right, right. And it was kind of like the difference you would find in like humor, like a comedian being like maybe a, a, a Bill Cosby or a Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
Like
I was thinking Richard Pryor. Yeah, that's
right. You're going to hear a different take on it, being that it's from people that you can actually believe and feel. And so, like when you heard that "Throw Your Guns in the Air," I mean, that shit might as well be a national anthem for all these gun-toting people right now. Like everybody can relate to that because you know that's something that you want to hold as an adult. You know,
Right.
maybe not when you was kids, but for now, like that is totally relatable. Just like Dope Man or Fuck the Police, it's still relatable today. You know,
I mean, yo, listen, man, guns gonna be here whether we like it or not. And
yes,
but when we made Throw Your Guns, it was just a party. It's a party that the Jamaican niggas used to do because you know we used to hear Jamaican tapes back in the day. They'd be like, throw your guns in the air, boom, 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 and we just formulated a slick way of saying throw your guns in the air, but not like nobody. But it was more of a this is the ill party. This is where the Rude Boys is at. Let's get it popping. It's time to get live like a wire. And that's was the total objection to Throw Your Guns. Like we never said, yo, throw your guns and shoot somebody. We said throw your guns in the air. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
right. Salute. It's a
you
salute.
gotta understand that. Like that
Right.
the meaning behind the record. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When the Jamaicans pulling out their guns in the party, shooting their guns in the air, nobody gets shot.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that
But it is a salute to hip hop in a different way.
right.
Because once again, we were going through this kind of at that time there was that pop music thing going on, crossover. There was that have fun. They were still trying to get all of that native tongue music out of there because they didn't want pro-black music as prevalent as it was.
You heard? Did you hear the plan that they did? Did you hear the plan? I think Crazy Bone played it or somebody played. It was like a
Oh yeah, you talking about Crazy Bone? Shout out to him. He's gonna be on the show here too.
no doubt. He played some shit where they was like telling, yo, we're gonna change all the music to gangster. We're gonna put niggas in jail. This is gonna, and it's fucking probably you're probably right because we was part of that shit.
Right.
Not to laugh, but that's fucked up. That but NWA set that shit off, man, and it was time because with the whole Rodney King shit, and they was feeling what we feeling right now with the George Floyd, rest in peace, and the Breonna, like that whole Breonna Taylor and that thing was going on right now and going on forever. And I think when NWA came out, their album was fueled by that aggression, what was going on with the police. That's why fuck the police, and that whole attitude had to change.
Right.
Whether if it was a conspiracy or not, we had to release that message. We had to make those records, and we had to release that anger in our music. So,
well, no, it was a great look for New York because New York needed that at the time to kind of shift the hip hop that was taking place at that moment, because
right.
you guys helped usher in the Wu-Tangs, the Craig Macks, the people that had you
Biggie
guys not did your thing.
Shout to Biggie, the Biggie Smalls. I don't forget him.
Boom, boom, boom.
The Locks, DMX.
Yeah, man.
It's like I said, when we came out, we was watching God's Effects. We was watching
Right.
We was watching Cypress Hill. So, like you mentioned, like the Locks, and and I gotta correct you. I do got a record with Sheik Luch, not Sheik Louch.
Sheik Luch, yeah.
The Locks. We got a record right now called 5 a.m. produced by my man Jay Wex. It is crazy, man. It's one of those records, man. I've done a lot of records, and I think this record is special. So check it out. It's 5 a.m. Fredro Starr, Sheik Luch, Onyx, the Locks, 100 Mad meets D Block, and yeah,
it's
like
fire.
we was inspiration. He was telling me we was inspiration for him when they was coming up.
Exactly.
And that's how hip hop works, man. That's how it should be.
Right.
And then when they came out, they was inspiration for us to keep moving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when DMX came out, it was like, yo. When DMX came out, niggas was like, yo, this nigga's ill. That's why we had to get the nigga on the Shut Him Down song. Like, when he came out, we was like, yo, this nigga is ill. Fuck that. That's why we did Shut Him Down with DMX, and that was one of the illest records ever.
Right.
Ever. Shut Him Down with DMX was crazy.
I want to talk about that walk in New York. That song, it didn't get the sales success, but it's one of those bangers that is just timeless. Like, I remember hearing that on I forgot who it was, man. It might have been a Double R tape. And for the first time.
Blue tape, maybe.
Yeah. And it just came on, and I just remember that vibe. Like, you gave a picture of New York that only people in New York, or if you visited New York or you seen it in New York, you could understand. Like, the music captured the streets of New York, all the boroughs. It managed to just capture that. Talk about how important that song was for you guys to do that, because every hood needs that.
Well, when I produced the beat for it, like what I was like, when I came up, it was a record called Milk is Chillin', Gift is Chillin'. What more can I say? Top billing. And that record right there was, to me, one of the illest beats, one of the illest sounds of New York. Like, Top billing was the record, and all it was drums. Boom, boom, you know what I mean? It wasn't no.
Right. Shout out to Audio 2. Let's go.
That record was crazy. So that record was kind of like my mind's step for making a beat. Like, I wanted to make a beat, and we had the first time I made the beat for Walking New York, we had a bass line, and the bass line was boom, 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 boom. That's when I was in my producer shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, the bass line. I was like, nah, scratch the beat. We made the beat, boom, boom, bam, boom, 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 bam, boom, 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 straight drums, and we don't throw gang signs in New York. We
Oh my God!
so we had to let this know because at the time there was the East Coast West Coast beef,
Right,
kind of moving. You know what I mean? Like the whole shit.
right.
It was getting crazy. So we just was like, yo, if it's the East Coast West Coast shit, we gonna wreck. So we gonna do Walk in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you being mad humble right now, bro. But that fucking we don't throw gang signs in New York.
But here's the crazy.
Woo!
Here's the crazy shit. So we did Walk in New York. We shot the video, shot the Zodiac Fish Grease, shot the video in New York. Like you said, it like when we did the All We Got Is Us as days talk and shit like that on that, we wasn't going, we was going like underground.
Right, right.
Wu-Tang came out after the first album, after the album, Wu-Tang came out. So we was like, yo, you know what I mean? Like we you know, that's
right.
how. So like I said, when other groups come out, they give you inspiration. So when Wu-Tang came out, we was like, yo, fuck that. The flow got ill on the second album. All We Got Is Us, it got darker and it got more.
Right.
It was just we was just zoned out. You know what I'm saying? Zoned the fuck out on that album. And
what was that like listening?
Hold up.
Okay, go ahead.
Walk in New York track, right? So all that came from this darkness that we was in, you know what I'm saying? After the first album came out, we got the big bag, the money was there, niggas was paranoid, niggas was, you know, because once you get the love, the hate come, you know what I'm saying? And then because you walking around with that thing on you every day, and that's the whole All We Got Is Us album. We was in a dark zone like that, you know what I'm saying? We was secluded in Jersey, we was just doing our own thing. Jam Master Jay wasn't around.
Right.
When we did the second album, Jam Master Jay was doing JMJ Records. You know, we kind of like grew up, and so he was, you know, finding dudes like, you know, he was jail felony, and he was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
When we was doing that album, All We Got Is Us and Walk in New York, that was all us. That was just Onyx energy. You know what I'm saying? Fishy nasty niggas energy. Like
right.
Adolf the Assassin was in the group. He was in the crew. He was, you know, with the production, he was around, and you know, that was just all us. So, but here's the story. With all the East Coast, West Coast beef going on, we had a show in California at the House of Blues, and Tupac was there that night. And we was backstage like, yo, we gonna do Walk in New York. We're gonna do Walk in New York because we in LA. We like, yo, these niggas might pop up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas knew Tupac was in the audience and all that. So we was like, fuck it, we gonna do Walk in New York, man. So we did Walk in New York. Your man Tupac was in the front of the stage, like, that's my shit. Yo, that's my shit, yeah. Yo, we was like on stage, like, oh shit, yo, Pac, what up? Like, it felt good that he responded to that record like that because we didn't know we didn't even know if we wanted to do that shit because we was out our element, you know what I'm saying? But we was like, fuck it, let's do it, and we did it. Pop, yo, he was enjoying that shit, man. I'll never forget that shit. That shit was ill.
Rest in peace, Tupac, man.
Word, true story, facts.
My boy that I grew up with, you know, he also wanted me to ask you because he grew up with he's childhood friends with Shiloh, and he said that, yeah, rest in peace, Shiloh, yeah. He said that.
Hold on. Shiloh, Shy Skills.
Yes.
He was the producer for Throw Your Guns, the producer for Slam, the producer for the whole first album on basically, like, he produced basically all the joints on the album except for 2 joints. And rest in peace to Shy Skills. Me and Shy Skills linked up later, and I got an EP called A Few Joints, produced by Shy Skills, the late Shy Skills. It's called A Few Joints. The EP I released last year, man. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Shy Skills. But what's your question?
Yeah, you know, he just wanted to ask, you know, how was it like working with Shiloh? Because he was childhood friends with him, and he knew him pretty well, and he was very proud of him. Not to mention, Shiloh also did a joint on Shaq's album, representing Orlando, which I didn't even, you know, realize that he did or the connection was there. Right. Shiloh did a track called Freaky Freaky Flow with Shaq, my brother Vaughn from Mr. Links, and
Yeah.
my man General Shadow, and
It's crazy. I went to Shaq's party a couple of maybe like 2 years ago, and I was, I seen Shaq, and it was, it was party vibe, and I took him to the side. I was like, yo, Shaq Skills passed, right? This isn't a party. And Shaq was like, word, like, because Shaq Skills, after he produced Onyx, he went on to produce Shaq and LL, and he was out there living with him
right,
for a minute. Like, he was calling me, stunting on me with the big chain on, yo, man, Shaq crib,
right.
yeah, but shout to Shaq, because he definitely was it took him back. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, working with Shy Skills, when we first met him, I first met Shy Skills. It was funny because I was getting some trees off Jamaica Ave. I was cutting hair. It was like a break or whatever. And I didn't quit the barbershop until Throw Your Guns was radio type shit. I still was getting my money. Like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was going into a weed spot, and they had a studio downstairs in the weed spot. While we buying the trees, I'm hearing the shit downstairs like boom, 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 shit's rumbling. I'm like, okay, boom. We get our weed, and me and Sticky, we ride off and shit, jump in the rodeo. I had a rodeo at the time and shit. Jump in the rodeo, and I look in my rear view, I see this dude like running up to the car and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when he gets to the car, I'm like, yo, he had a beat tape. He's like, yo, I make beats downstairs at the weed spot. He was like, yo, I make beats, man. Yo, here's the tape. I'm like, word? I'm like, yo, don't be running up on niggas like that, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, the beats better not be whack, my nigga. And, whatever. So put the beat tape in, and we drove off. Nigga. The first beat came on, that shit was like, I'm like, I looked at Stick, I'm like, yo, this shit crazy. But the beats was more like Tribe Called Quest, happy samples. Like, it was happy, but the production was crazy, like it was chunky. And I back to the weed spot that same day, and I was like, yo, my nigga, we got to deal with that. He's like, yeah, I know you niggas got to deal with JMS. I'm like, yo, that same day we went to Shy Skills crib and we started making beats. And I told that nigga, yo, tune your samples down lower, like make it slower, so darker. And the first day I met Shy Skills, we created Back the Fuck Up. And that sample, that took that shit down to a low frequency. And that's the start of Onyx production for the album. Word.
He just dropped some jewels on you, Orlando. For all my beat makers out there, he just slid you a little jewel. You want that shit chunky, man.
Word.
Tune it down. Get that thing darkened up. Now, like I said, you've done some amazing things. You touched on that Clockers, which is probably one of the most iconic hip hop and culture movies. Because Spike Lee was like in a zone at that time.
Yeah.
He made Crooklyn, and then followed that with Clockers, which was like this total future of Crooklyn. And you guys played such compelling roles in that movie. Talk about how that movie kind of, because I know you did Strap, and that's one of my favorite movies. A lot of people don't know about that movie, but that was a great movie. Great message too.
Yeah, Strap was still directed by Forrest Whitaker. And it was crazy because when I did Strap, I was recording the first album and doing Strapped at the same time. So it wasn't like I got the role in Strap because I, came out and I was
Right.
I was nobody. I was just a young kid that Forrest Whitaker saw something in. But what made Clock is so special, Sticky was in it and I was in it. So now we did the Def Jam. We doing the music thing. So now me and Sticky movie together. And this is my cousin, my little cousin, nigga. We didn't slept on pissy mattresses, nigga, we came through Brooklyn with nothing, food stamps. It's my little nigga, my little cousin, you know what I'm saying? Now we on the set, they knocking on the door. Yo, it's time to go do the scene, you know what I'm saying? Like, Now we in a movie together. I looked at him. I was like, yo, my nigga, we fucking doing a movie, my nigga. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Shout to the whole Clockers crew. Before I leave, I just want to say, you know, doing movies is, we always want to bring the culture and hip hop in the movies that we do. You know what I'm saying? And I've been blessed to always bring the culture, the hip hop culture into the movies. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a blessing. You know what I mean? Just keep the culture moving on motion picture. You know what I'm saying? Television shows. So yeah, before we go, I just want to say, man, tune into the Rappers and Ballers podcast. You got your podcast. I got a podcast too. Shout to Johnny Voga. For Rappers and Ballers, it's a podcast. We talk about sports, talk about hip hop, smoke a lot of weed, and it's a real cool podcast, a real vibe, man. So before I leave, because I gotta go check this game out right now. Before I left, Harden was getting busy, man. I gotta check this game because
just tell the people real quick where they can find that new single that is just fire material. Talk about that single real quick.
5 a.m. with Sheik Louch. It's everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you check it. It's gonna be on all platforms. January 5th. Holla at your boy. My name is Fredro Starr. Catch me on IG, Clubhouse. I don't fuck with Facebook, and that's what we doing, man. Holla at your boy. I'm out of here.
Hey, man. So glad to have you on the show, man. Awesome, bruh. Keep the hip-hop culture moving, bro. We love you, man. Continue.
Love, man. You already know. Orlando, stand up, man. You heard?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give it up for Fredro Starr. Let's go. Yes. My brother Fredro Starr came on the show. I know we kind of did things a little bit late tonight, but, you know, it happens, man. Let's get used to it, man. Shout out to everybody on the check-in tonight. My man Fredo. My man Work. What's good, Work? How you doing? My man DJ Caesar on the check-in. You know, we got so many people on the check-in, man. What's going on with y'all, man? Love y'all, man. We're starting off the new year. We're representing hip-hop. We're talking to our city. It don't matter what's going on. They ain't going to stop the vibe. They're not going to stop what God has given us, man. We're going to continue to do this. You know what time it is. It is the Sound of Orlando show. Big up to my man Remington Steele. We represent the city hard. And this is what we're going to do, bro. Straight up. We're telling our story, and they can't tell their story without telling ours. And that's how we're doing it. Shout out to our brand new sponsor, Tom's Sons, out of New York City, out of Manhattan. One of the finest in international pleating. They just joined the show, man. We're rolling them out, man. If you want some masks, especially for the ladies, man, that are fashionable, you know you got to rock them. Support this brother. Go to tomsons.com and support these dope, fashionable masks. I mean, they're just insane. And like I said, we're just starting the week off, man. Shouts out to everybody out there. We love you. You know how we doing it. Let's go.
Live on stage, the sound.
Up Orlando.
So, if they ready,
Yes.
the sound.
Up Orlando.
You know.